Uh, hello, guys. Smith Layi, how you doing? I can't hear you. Oh, okay.
I'm going. You lock me up. You say you cannot hear me. uh,
Apologies for the late starts today, guys.
yeah.
Just had to deal with some real life things
Mhm.
before coming on here, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, those real life things ran a little longer than I wanted. But
Yeah.
we are here. We are here to discuss.
Item 7.
Don't be at M7 though, but
Okay. I know.
some important one or two things where I just
Hmm.
that's finished. you know. But yes, thank you for tuning in, guys. Thank you for your patience. Smitlai, also thank you for your patience.
Yeah.
If you are watching on other platforms, please switch over to the Eagles Tracker YouTube channel, youtube.com/Eagles Tracker NG, so that you can join in because the stream is going to end on other platforms. So please switch over to the Eagles Tracker platform. Before we get into it, guys, please let me know where you are tuning in from. Let me know where you are tuning in from so that we can just hail you very quickly and appreciate you for joining us yet again. If it's your first time joining the show, watching, you can also let us know so that we can welcome you to the family. If you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, please make sure you subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. It costs you absolutely nothing. And of course, please like the video on YouTube. It helps to send a signal that we are doing something positive. It helps to get more people tuned in, more people see it, and also just helps us to grow the channel. So yes, thank you very much. We'll kick off the show in just a bit after all the formalities and all the welcomes and greetings. Um, and also, please share the live with your friends, share the live with your family, share the live with the people that you debate football with. Let's get more people tuned in. It's going to be an interesting Tuesday. We'll try to we'll try to end by 1 a.m. Nigerian time.
Hmm.
We'll try to end. So, guys, we have to try to keep to time. If thank God we're on social media, if we're on TV, they'll be finding us every week because we don't ever keep to time on this show. Um,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the thing is that I enjoyed in lives and everything, but people that watch it on demand, they don't
Hmm.
usually like to sit down for the whole 2 hours and watch the whole thing. Because I'll be
Yeah.
looking at duration, and most people would not stay for the whole thing. They'll get tired at some point or anything. So we have to try to keep it as short as possible, but still
Uh-huh.
giving you guys the extensive coverage that we like to give you.
Yeah.
So yes, please, if you're on Instagram, if you're on X, if you're on Facebook, if you're on TikTok, switch over to YouTube so that you can catch the show because it will cut off and then you'll miss all the juicy, interesting conversation. And then you'll come and be sending me DM that what happened. So I know how many times people will say, AyoT, what happened? I was watching the live and it just ended. And I'm saying, I told you 20 times that it will end. You did not believe
Hmm.
me.
Hmm.
But yes, let me just greet Chinwoke. Thank you for joining us. I see you. Thank you very much, Bola Akombi from Sheffield, UK. God is the greatest. Says this is his first time here. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Sean Dida is from Nigeria. Sean Dida, you should be switching over to YouTube, but thank you for joining us. You should be switching over to YouTube. Olu says, Una go pay fine for coming late. Join us on YouTube, don't worry, and we can discuss the fine. Um, Monaco Matt says, Smith Layi, good evening.
Good
Monaco
evening.
Matt, nice to see you. Nice to hear from you. Please join us on YouTube. Paul Oloidi says, Yo, Paul, I know you. Yeah, regular here. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining. So yes, today we're just going to talk about a host of topics. We'll review the past week of action. Lots of transfers have happened in the world of Nigerian football players. So we're going to talk about some transfers. We're going to talk about um, an incident that happened between Osimhen and or alleged incidents that happened between Victor Osimhen and the journalist. Osimhen has, of course, denied it. We'll get into all of that. We'll talk about Rwanda and their situation ahead of the March qualifiers. We'll talk about the AFCON 2025 draws. We'll specifically focus on Nigeria's group. Of course, before the tournament, and I will do a proper, breakdown, analysis, prediction on everything. But for today, just because we don't have that much time, we'll just focus on Nigeria's group. And of course, if you didn't watch the draws, you missed out. But our head coach Eric Shell was at the draws, and he did an interview with the wonderful Mimi Fawaz, a short interview, and spoke about the draws and how he's feeling, and we'll discuss that as well. So without further ado, somebody said, "Oh, na Kenny Fresh. I refused to subscribe before, but I don't subscribe now." This guy, you've done the follow us for Instagram since now today. You just subscribe to the channel, but thank you for subscribing. Kobe Jesse says, "I'm a big fan." A lot of people says you lots were late. Yes, I apologize. I apologize for being late. That one was on me. Smith Layi is the one that's usually the late comer, but today is me that was late. But yes, without wasting too much time, let us get into the show for today. Smith, are you ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be watching or listening to us from. My name is AyoT, and this is the Niger FC podcast. As always, with me, I have my reliable co host.
Smith Layi, thank you for joining.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us. Another Tuesday, another episode of the Niger FC podcast, and we're going to bring a host of topics today. As always, I like to start by reviewing the past weekend of action, just taking you through the different Nigerian players that performed over the weekend before we get into the juicy topics and the things that we know that people really, really want to hear about. I'll start with the goalkeepers. Adebayo Adeleye was in goal for Enosis. Akman Udo was in goal for Mustard. Stanley Nwabali was in goal for Chipa United. Honestly, none of these goalkeepers had such a fantastic performance, but we had three goalkeepers in action this past weekend, and I just want to highlight them. In defense, we had Jordan Torunariga keeping a clean sheet, 2 dribbles, 5 goals, 1 for KA against. William Ekong was also good for Al Kulud with tackle, 2 clearances, 4 goals, 1. Joseph Olowu kept a clean sheet, 7 goals, 1, 8 clearances for Doncaster Rivers. Onyinyechi Zog, 3 interceptions, 4 tackles, 5 goals, 1 and 8 clearances for Perth Glory. And then over in midfield, we had Afiz Aremu with 7 tackles, 11 goals, 1. Unfortunately, he also made an error that led to a goal, but his team still won that game. Frank Onyeka with 2 tackles, 2 clearances, and 5 goals, 1 for FC Augsburg. Ebenezer Akinsomiro with 2 tackles, 2 chances created, and 10 goals, 1 for Sampdoria. We had Musa Al-Bashir, who scored a goal for Apollonia Fier. We had Ibrahim Olawoyin with 1 goal and 1 assist for Kaiko Rizespor. And then Jennifer Oninie Echegini with 1 goal and 1 assist for PSG Feminine. And then moving over to the attackers, Paul Mukaru created 1 goal scoring chance, had 4 tackles, and won 11 goals for Bolispor in Turkey. Larry Kayode scored a goal and created 1 chance for Ericspor in Turkey. Ezekiel Henty with 2 chances created and 4 goals, 1 for Maccabi Benai Rena in Israel. Babajide Akintola, 3 dribbles, and he won 1 penalty for Kaiko Rizespor. Sadiq Fatai scored a goal for Penafiel in Portugal. Moses Simon with 1 assist, 2 dribbles, and 7 goals, 1 for FC Nantes in France. Samuel Chukwueze off the bench with a goal for AC Milan. Victor Osimhen scored a goal for Galatasaray. Gift Monday got 1 goal and 1 assist for UDCA Tenerife in Spain. Tolu Arokodare with 1 goal and 1 assist for KRC Genk. Peter Itodo scored a goal for Dynamo City. Mesoma Umejogo scored 2 goals for Apollonia Fier. Ibe Jidechuku got 1 assist for Hapoel Jerusalem. Cyril Dessa scored a goal and created 3 chances for Rangers. Evo Ememe scored 2 goals for Flamatari. Chinwendu Ihezuo scored a goal for Pachuca. Christian Irobiso got 1 assist for FC Botosani. And our star of the week for this past weekend, Smidlai's boy, Chrysantos Uche, with 1 goal and 1 assist for Getafe in their 3-0 or 0-3 victory over Real Sociedad. And of course, our Nigerian team of the week are running through that very quickly. We had Stanley Wabali in goal with his 2 saves for Chipa United. In defense, we had Jordan Torunariga, William Ekong, and Joseph Olowu. In the midfield, we had Moses Simon on the left, Chukwueze on the right, Eche Guinea and Olawoyin in the center. And then 3 strikers, we have Gift Monday, Tolu Arokodare, and the star of the week, Chris Santos Uche. So that is how our Nigerian players performed. Those are the players that we felt were worthy of highlighting, that impressed us over the weekend. And as always, let's dive into the performances of a few players very, very quickly. Smilai, let's
Yeah.
start with the most popular player. We'll not talk too much about it. Victor Osimhen, another goal this weekend, another goal from the sports, another game where he missed a number of chances. Your thoughts?
I think it's just it's part of he's going through a rough patch now, in my own opinion. I think the chances are coming. He's not putting them away. Though the what that led to a penalty was a very good move. I like that move. Inside defender, and sure that guy had no option than to bring him down. I remember that was similar to Ivory Coast against Nigeria during the AFCON group stage. That same penalty. He likes to put his leg forward, and the guy kicked him from the back. And thank God that it was VR. So no, for me, I think he's missed the opportunity now. I think he needs to calm down slightly. I don't know what thing happen. Maybe he just needs they need to talk to him more. For me, scoring from this spot, he's scoring goals. At least he scored one goal, but you didn't consider him for your team of the week. That means that there's something that he didn't do right. So I just think that he needs to continue to work hard and work and develop. For me, I think this penalty is good. It's improving his penalty skill. But for me, I think Victor is not really in form now.
Mm. And I would say I would have to just echo the same sentiment. I mean, the good thing is that he's still scoring goals. The penalties will keep his confidence going. His team is winning games, not really, but they are winning games. That will keep him going. I don't want to talk too much about it, but I want to see him score some more goals from open play. I want to see him miss less chances. Somebody here is saying, I disagree with you on him missing chances. I don't know how you can disagree with facts. I'm not giving that's not an opinion, is a fact. He missed chances.
Mm-hmm.
You say, oh, he scored two other goals that were cancelled. If you scored two goals that were offside, you cannot get credit for scoring offside goal. It means that you did not time your run well. I cannot give you credit for scoring an offside goal. Sometimes when people say things like this, it makes me push back, and then it starts to seem as if, oh, I'm against somebody. But I just don't believe in making silly excuses for players. Like, how do you say, oh, you scored two goals? They were not cancelled. They were offside. They were not goals. They were just not goals. And the ones that were onside, you didn't take them. You scored from the spots. Still, again, I'm happy that he's scoring goals, but I'm not going to make any excuses for the best player in Africa or for one of the best players in Africa.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's move on very quickly. Some other players scored. I didn't mention them when I was running through because they scored, but it's not like the performances were that exciting. But I want to talk about two players. Filippo Tele scored a debut day goal for Basel. I remember when we came on and spoke about him joining Al Wada, and then we came on and spoke about him joining Basel, and then now he has scored on his debut. And also, one of your boys, Gift Orban, scored his first goal for Hoffenheim. It was a tap in,
Yeah.
nothing
You
too crazy,
echoed it in your post. I
but
wanted to come after you.
but at the same time, I'm happy that he scored because you need that first goal to get your
Mm-hmm.
confidence,
Mm-hmm.
going. It was a very important game for Hoffenheim. So Smith Layi, what are your thoughts on Filippo Tele's debut day goal and Gift Orban scoring his first goal for Hoffenheim?
No, the good thing is that Otile did not take long for him to recover, because for me, I think going to Qatar and coming back is it Qatar or UAE?
UAE.
UAE is a recovery, and I know that we will still talk about this moving to the Gulf very soon. I know that we're going to talk about that one very soon. That one go out because I have some things to say. So, but for me, I'm happy that he's recovering well. I hope they can just perform, continue to do well. Battling is not the same battle we used to know before, and
Yeah.
but still they are still, doing the job in season, and I'm happy for him. And also Gift Urban, the truth out of his head, Gift Urban is not in form now. Let's say the truth, it's not in form now. But what do you think goals can do? Goals can improve a player, and I hope that this one can also improve him, and also even bring back his confidence. Because I watched that game because of Gift Urban. Immediately it came on. In fact, I was about to change the channel when he had scored already. Why did it go on my head? So I was checking on who scored the comment and say, he has scored already. So he looked lost, in those games. But I just think that the confidence level is very low. But if he's scoring goals now, and I also want his big brother Kevin Akpoguma to help him very well. So I think he's gonna actually do well for Hoffenheim. So that's it. At the long run, yeah, he's gonna pay them at the long run.
No, yeah, and for me, I think my biggest thing with Hoffenheim is that I really don't want them to get relegated because I don't want Orban to all of a sudden now drop to the second Bundesliga and then he's not trying to work his way back up, because these second divisions are not that easy to come back up from. Man. You can drop and you can stay down for like 3, 4, 5 years. So I'm really hoping that things continue to go positive for Hoffenheim. They're only 4 points ahead of the relegation zone right now, halfway through the season, but they still have a good chance. It seems like maybe they are trying to come on a mini resurgence with that draw against Frankfurt, because it was a much needed draw. And then of course they won their game before that one. So let's see how things pick up for them as they continue moving. Their next Bundesliga match is against Bayer Leverkusen. So it's not going to be easy, but Let's see what they can do.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into Bayer Leverkusen in a little
In a bit, yes.
bit. Okay, another player that I always want to highlight, Tolu Arokodare. We cannot deny his form. We
Mm-hmm.
cannot deny his form. Another goal and assist. The assist was so assist, but you know the way football works. As long as you're the last player to pass the ball
So
or to touch
that's the
the
ball.
ball is an
Mm-hmm.
assist. So 1 goal and 1 assist for Arokodare. I believe he now has 17 goals and 4 assists.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that I've been talking about every time that people have asked me about him in the Super Eagles, I've always been saying, let him keep the consistency. Let him keep
Mm-hmm.
the consistency. And with all fairness to him, he is keeping the consistency. The
Mm-hmm.
boy is scoring. The goal that he scored, I don't know if you've seen it. It was a nice left-footed strike into the roof of the net from
Mm-hmm.
what it was faced up with one defender, dragged it wide, and then blasted it into the net. It's not his typical tapping goal, not his typical simple goal. This one was actually a finish that he created for himself. So I was happy to see. I posted a video of him on Twitter earlier in the year just to show how his game has changed and improved compared to when he was playing in like in Latvia or in Germany when he was struggling in the second division in France. Even his game has changed so much. He's becoming a more complete football player, and rightfully so. He's getting the plaudits. So I'm happy to see. I think I'm at a point where I'm convinced that he deserves an opportunity in the national team because he's doing well, and also other players are not doing so well.
Mm-hmm.
So that is adding up to convince me that yes, Tolu Arokodare deserves this chance. But Smith Layi, how do you feel about Arokodare's form? Another goal and assist over the weekend.
Yes, for me, I'm not. I wasn't actually was a big fan because my issue with him was that he's too static, in the box, and I don't really like his movement, in the box. When he was he in mine? No, FC Cologne was he FC Cologne? Yeah, I think he went to FC Cologne. After
Yeah, it was in
he went to
Toronto.
FC Cologne. It's too static. This traditional big guy striker and everything. Even in Emion, is he Emion too? He's
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
yeah. He went to in France too, but and this is it. In the Belgium has been doing well. I saw some of what Ashua did. His movement has changed. He can anticipate the ball better. He knows where the second ball will land. He knows exactly where to stay and do his normal tapping. He knows all those things. So for me, I think he deserves to be in the national team now. I think he deserves it because if you look at it's not by social media posts, he'll be in the national team. So it's by doing the workings, and he's doing the workings too. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think he's and this has they're the same goals, the same goals also in the. I think they're the two Nigerian top scorers in Europe now. This has
I would have
uh,
to come. I'm not sure, but I
I
would
think
have
he
to
has scored
confirm.
17 goals, and I think he has also scored 17 goals.
Mm,
So are we? So for me, I think he deserves to assure to be there. I just hope that the national team will not consume him. Yeah, I
mm,
think he deserves to assure to be there because he's doing the work, he's showing the workings.
yeah.
That's my take about it.
All right. Shout out to Tolu Arokodare. Long may it continue. Let's talk about another player that has seen an upturn in his recent form. I'm talking about Cyril Dessers. Of course, we spoke about him last week. We've spoken about him in the past with all the different rumors of him potentially leaving Rangers. But now, in his last 4 matches, Dessers has scored 6 goals and he has provided 1 assist. I mean, what can you say about Cyril Dessers' form?
No, I listened to Balogun's podcast,
Mm,
about 2 weeks ago when he was discussing about this. I said this is like he got like heart of a lion.
mm,
He deals with situation in a very professional and a very good way. When he came on against Aberdeen, he's been having a very poor form. When he came against Aberdeen, the one section of the fans booed him. But he wasn't first with the way.
mm.
He went there and he did the job, for Rangers. So you can see the finish against Man United in the Old Trafford. The similar finish too, again with left foot against which club they played 3-1, the 3-1 victory. This last weekend.
Dundee United.
Dundee United, sorry. Okay, the name even speaks for that. So, so that finish was like out of this world. So for me, and I think the coach now is looking for a way to play him. I think Igamu is now playing on the left, and this has now through the middle. So for me, he's a goal scorer. He's a goal scorer. He's a goal scorer when he's in form. Strikers go through rough patches, but Siri Desas is my man. And I hope that he continues.
No, and I see, I'll echo that sentiment. See, Cyril Dessers, I think the only Nigerian player that right now I'm thinking is a better finisher than Cyril Dessers
Mm-hmm.
is Terry Murphy.
Mm.
Murphy, man, it's paining me that he's injured. Because now when I'm talking about him, people will think I'm just making noise. But the only person that I think is a better, just pure finisher than Terry Dessers is Terry Murphy. Terry Dessers can finish. I'm not saying he's the most clinical, but he can finish. Like his finishes are good, on target. You see him hit the right spots, and then it just looks very, very good when he scores those goals. The only thing is that he can also have those patches, those spells where he's just missing everything, and you're like, bro, what is going on? And that's the reason why fans of Rangers have been so upset with him, because he will miss certain chances that they feel like he needs to score. In all honesty, just for the sake of context, Cyril Dessers is like Nicholas Jackson. They will score some goals, but they'll also miss some goals, and you'll be a bit frustrated every once in a while. When your team wins, you'll be happy. But the tough game now that you're expecting them to take one or two chances that they get, and then they miss those ones, you'll be frustrated with them. Because that's the reason why Rangers fans have been wanting him out. But all of a sudden now, they are started banging in goals again. They cannot just kick him out. But shout out to Cyril Dessers, man. Hopefully he can continue with the form like this for the rest of the season.
Let me just say something about Dessers Jackson, comparing them together. That ball that Dessers scored in Old Trafford, Jackson will pass back to a running striker coming. I don't know what is wrong with that guy. He will turn and look back.
Jackson is not a pure finisher per se.
It's not.
Let's not talk about Jackson, but he's shout out to Cyril Dessers, man. Okay. Another player that I want to talk about is Samuel Chukwueze. Samuel Chukwueze returning. When those AC Milan players were getting injured, I did the episode where I said Chukwueze is your time to shine. Unfortunately for him, he got injured. But then now he's back and came straight off the bench onto the score sheet, scored the winner for them. For another comeback for this Constance's AC Milan. It wasn't like some fancy goal, but again, just being in the right position, finishing the chance. Shout out to Samuel Chukwueze. Quickly, Smith Layi, what did you think of his return from injury and scoring that goal?
I did not watch that game until I saw your post. That Chukwueze, because it was very early, around 11:30. So so I didn't see that game. So, but fortunately for me, I saw the replay of the game. So I actually went to go and watch it. I'm happy for him. He's one of the weirdest goals I've ever seen. It was just touching all his body and it was like he was in the shower. So everything was just touching from head to toe, and the ball just went past the line. And I saw the series of the sequence of play before that goal. Good for him. A lot of people have been saying that he's on his way to Real Sociedad because Constanza said that he doesn't want him. But I know that even if he's having that in mind, that he doesn't want Chukwueze, because of that game-saving winning goal, that he had one assist that was chopped out for offside.
Yeah.
So, all those flashes, I think you consider and say, maybe this guy stay.
Maybe he can contribute something.
He can contribute something to his team. I just hope that Chukwueze to look as like a new challenge for him, because this guy, Constanza guy, he will keep you on your toes. If you go and ask this and see.
Me, I was happy because I had money on that game.
Okay.
I don't put money say AC Milan go win.
Okay.
Next thing they are losing, I say, how are you people losing to Parma now? And then for them to equalize in 90th minutes, and then Chukwueze to score. Chukwueze, I owe you $10 out of that money.
Okay.
He helped me make some money this weekend. But shout out to Samuel Chukwueze. Let's talk about one Super Falcons player, Gift Monday. You have not
mentioned my guy. Okay.
We'll go finish with them.
Okay,
Gift Monday had another good game. Gift Monday has started 2025 really well. 3 games in 2025. She has scored 4 goals. She has got 1 assist. Another goal and assist for Tenerife this past weekend in a 2-0 victory. Of course, Gift Monday is now only 23 years old. Smith Layi, with somebody like an Oshuala obviously getting to the swan song of her career, Onumonu on the older side, McLean's a little bit on the older side. Do you think this is prime time for Gift Monday to come and stamp herself? Of course, there's Edna Amadi that's also scoring goals for Granada. But do you think this is prime time for Gift Monday to come and stamp herself as an important player for Nigeria?
How many times have you said this? Have you said this thing? Like Chuko, how many times have you said it? It's just similar to like Chukwueze in national team too. The issue with him is that we see those flashes there, but it's inconsistencies. Like, I remember when they brought him on against Morocco, he struck the bar. That's the final of the WAFCON. Hey,
That
what's he
left
doing on
edge
the
strike.
bench? Yeah, what are you doing on the bench? What's she doing there? Ha, start her. I think she now started against Zambia. She did not do well. So, like, she's just someone that this yo-yo performance, she will do well once today, tomorrow it's gonna be different. But this year has been better. I hope she can actually would continue that way. There's no doubt about that. That when she was even in the local league, she did so well.
Mm.
For me, you can't deny her talent, but it's just that when she came to Europe, it was a rough patch for her, maybe because of the new environment. Maybe she's trying to see. But I think she's adapting and she's coping well now. And I think that for her not to go to the Olympics, last year really had a big impact on her. So because I knew the emotions that came after that, because
Because
she
then
wasn't.
carry her go Paris, they can't send her to go back home.
So I think since that time, I think she's been working hard. And under this manager, I think it's going to be it's going to feature prominently for this Super Falcon. So I wish him the very best of luck. I just hope that she can actually work continue, because more time now when they hit them, say Agbabola now, they will start dropping. But I just hope that she can continue and keep her head straight too.
Amazing. Somebody said, which app do you use for betting? I cannot say the name here because nobody they pay me for promo.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no desire to give them free promo. When they
Mm-hmm.
come and sponsor the channel, then
Mm-hmm.
we can talk about them. So you use whatever company you like.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, let me just quickly take some comments before we move on to our star of the week and we'll talk about his performance. MySpace Play says we've seen Desa's long-term potential despite short-term form. Another thing to know is that Desas is also, I think 29, 30 years old right now. So he's not really like a young or future type of player. Temi says Desas never had his chance. Although he has never played in Nigeria or Africa, it will be foolish to call him a match.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Daniel Famogun says Desas is just not consistent. MySpace Play says, no, now Osimhen is the best finisher if it's only about putting the ball in the back of the net. Osimhen is not the best finisher. Osimhen is not the best finisher. Is he the best striker? Yes, he's the best striker, no doubt. Is he the best finisher? Nah. There's people that finish better than him. You just have to watch them. It's not about who scores the most goals. Michael says, I don't really believe Belgian league. Paul Onuachu, Desas, Onyekuru, Ejuke all turned the league apart, but couldn't really do much with the Super Eagles. I hear you, but again, like there's different circumstances and different things, like we also, like, for somebody to say Ejuke didn't really do much, like, how many games did Ejuke play for Nigeria for us to say?
Education don't play in Belgium now.
What is it? I
He
mean,
didn't play.
it wasn't. He played in Belgium after his Super Eagles
Oh
call up.
yeah. After his
Yeah,
Antwerp, yeah,
after,
Antwerp.
but still, like, how many games did Ejuke play for us? Say, oh, he couldn't do much for Super Eagles. Things like that. Desas, how many games has Desas played for us to really say, oh, he didn't do much for Super Eagles? If you even say Onwachu, I can even understand, even though we didn't really play to his strength. If you say Onyekuru, I can even understand. But yeah, let's not get into that too much. Let me see. John Jones says Desas deserves a call up. Temi says, I think Shell should invite a minimum of 35 players for that next match. To see the larger 35, na prayer meeting.
You go with 28.
Like 35 is a lot. Already players want to play the match. Let me see. John Jones says Monday is too inconsistent. Edna Amade is the girl that we should call up. Logistics Jeff says if Desas was born in Nigeria, he'll be 23. Are you telling me Desas is older than Osimhen? Don't be big to talk that one though. I'm not anybody's father. I don't know. What I know is what I see online. What they put online is what I go with. I'm not anybody's father. They did not show me their birth certificate. So I don't know. Okay. Let us wrap up with our star of the week, Chrysanthus Uche. 1 goal, 1 assist for Getafe in that 3-0 victory over Real Sociedad. Big win for Getafe because they need every win that they can get right now. For Getafe to even score 3 goals in a match, I'd be like, say, something happened for that game, but I'm happy that our boy was at the center of it. Smith Layi, I'll let you take this one. How did you feel seeing Uche's performance in that game and them getting that result?
No, for me, I was, I always look after, Uche. Suddenly I just became like a fan of Getafe. I've never, me, I don't know. Maybe I've even watched. Okay, I've watched Getafe when this guy was there. Etebo. I think Etebo also played in Getafe.
Etebo, yeah.
Yes. So for me, I'm very very impressed. When I saw the game and I realized that the game was like 0-0 first half. So I just realized that it's like there's something in this game. So and I saw Ushida, is really in the mood. So I'm happy that he got a goal and he got one assist. So it was just and it was named like the best player in that game. If you remember, it was named the best player in that game. So fantastic performance from him. What I saw that was so different in that game was that I saw him in his own box too, trying to defend. Before you know it, you will see him up front too. I don't know the type of role that he's playing. It's like he's the coach on the pitch. He's just going everywhere. So good performance for Uche. Really, really impressed with him. I think his days in that team is their numbers. Their numbers. Honestly, he's a proper Bournemouth player. No. But we see exactly how things actually would go. Fantastic performance from him. Call up in a match, I'm not sure, but it's not on the list.
No, I think I would just say I also don't think a call up a match would happen per se, especially because of this attacking position that he's playing. If you compare him to the other attackers, it's going to be hard for you to debate for him. But maybe next season when he's playing in midfield again, and then we really, really see him in his natural position, and if he can,
so even his manager won the La Liga Player of the
Coach
Month.
of the Month.
Yes, yeah.
Because Getafe, they've stepped up their results. So they've stepped up their results. This January, in all competitions, they've played 5 matches. They've won 4. They've drawn 1. Compared to a team that was really struggling. In the league, they are 14th right now. They're only 3 points above the relegation zone. So it's still dicey for them. That's why that was a big 3-point for them. But let's see how things continue. I really hope they don't get relegated. But I will say this. Even if they get relegated, Uche is not going down with them. He's going to stay in La Liga even if they get relegated. Somebody will buy him and it will be cheap because they are relegated. So it's going to be a good one. Nobody or many people were not expecting Getafe to win that game. So
no many people were not expecting 3-0.
3-0.
That's
for Getafe to even just score 3 in one match. Now three games go with that normally.
I think it's good with that too.
So shout out to them and shout out to them. Okay, let us move topics very, very quickly and then talk about transfers. Of course, we're in January. The transfer window is coming to a close in a couple of days, but different Nigerian players have been on the move. I'll start by highlighting, I think it's fair to call her a legend of the Super Falcons of Nigeria. She has made a move to the oil-rich Saudi Arabia. I'm talking about Francisca Odega teaming up with Ashley Plumter for Al Ittihad ladies. She already made her debut. Unfortunately, it was a losing debut because that Al Ittihad team. Now, Plumter, they carried that team from defense all the way to attack. Now, Plumter, they carried that team. They lost the game, but Francisca Odega now making a move after spells in Europe. How do you feel about this one for her?
For me, if you say football journey woman, you have to mention Francisca Odega. I remember, when she started, playing for Nigeria under 20, through her journey, fantastic player, in her prime. I really enjoyed watching her down the wings. She don't achieve everything now. She won the AFCON. She scored at the World Cup. She did everything for Nigeria. So I'm really actually
and she has played everywhere, USA or Europe or China,
Spain, everywhere. So I wish her the very best of luck. She's joining, our contingent in the Gulf. So, and I think that this is the best, way to actually end her career. She's not been invited to the national team for close to like 2 years now. So for me, I think that though officially she's still a member of the Falcons, but I think Nigeria don't retire, indirectly. So except the coach who wanted to actually bring her on. So for me, I am happy that she moved, and I wish her that she go and enjoy her retirement there.
No, and I'm happy for her as well. See, female footballers don't make half or a quarter as much as male footballers make. So if a female footballer wants to go and cash out for the rest of her career, I cannot even be against it. It's a completely different thing from a player that is playing in a top league in Europe or a male footballer trying to go to Saudi or something. So for me, at the swan song of her career, if she can go and make some bank, I don't know how much they're paying her, but I'm sure they're paying her more than what she was earning in Russia. And for her to enjoy that culture, experience it, she has her teammate that she looked at there as well. I think is a good one for her. If you guys remember when I did my interview with Francisca Odega, and she was talking about she wants to retire and go and start her family.
Mm-hmm.
So at least when she makes some money, she go and start her family, and she can live happily ever after. Unfortunately, even though they're on a 4-game losing streak, there are two teams in that league that are just terrible. There's one team that they are on 0 points after 12 matches, and another team is on 4 points after 12 matches. So
Mm-hmm.
Etihad, even if they keep losing, they will not get relegated. So at
Mm-hmm.
least that's a good thing for them. And hopefully she can do well. I think she signed a contract until, was it 2027 or 2020? I think 2027 it was. So by the time she does 2.5 years in Saudi, she for don't accumulate a little bit of wealth, and if she
Mm-hmm.
decides to stay even longer, all the best to her. I'm really rooting for her. I'm happy for her. I like her as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she deserves to enjoy after all her labor throughout
Mm-hmm.
her football career. Okay, another Nigerian football player that has made a transfer. Another player that I think it would be fair to call her also a legend of Nigerian football. This one personally made me happy because she's moving to my home city in
Mm-hmm.
Canada. I'm talking about Ngozi Okobi. Ngozi Okobi has joined Ottawa Rapid FC, a new football club in Canada over here in the new Northern Super League that is kicking off in April 2025. Of course, Ngozi Okobi is making her return after her baby that she just had. I am really, really happy to see her. I already texted her. I said, I go to come your match now. Now, the stadium is 5 minutes away from my house, 5-minute drive.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I can be going there to watch her play, and for me, I'm happy personally just because I get to see a Nigerian player often to watch their games. And of course, happy for her to bounce back after having a baby. I remember I was speaking to her some weeks ago, like December, and we're just chatting about things in general. And she was like, no, that she's not done with football yet. She just wanted to have her baby while she's still young, but she wants to still do more things in football. She still wants to play for the Super Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
So she still has ambition, she still has goals, she still has dreams. So I'm really hoping that things go well for her. Maybe she plays 1 year in Ottawa. I feel like she could have moved to Europe, but she just wants to be close to her family, considering the fact that she just had a child. She wants to still be able to be there to raise the
Mm-hmm.
child, even though she's
Yeah.
playing professional football. And then
Yeah.
maybe after 1 or 2 years, then she might decide to go back to somewhere in Europe, or she can decide to go to Saudi or somewhere, or the USA. But I'm happy for her. Smith, like, your thoughts on Ngozi Okobi to
Good,
Ottawa
good,
Rapid?
good player, good player, good player, fantastic midfielder in that days. So very good player. I'm happy that she's moving very close to you now. So at least you won't do online podcast with her. You will do a
I can
proper
go and do it in
sit down,
person.
sit down podcast, set your camera, and do proper this thing with her. Good job. Kinda is. I know she's playing like is it in not Super League as well.
Northern Super League.
Other Super League, so so I wish her very best of luck. Super Falcons, time will tell. Time will tell.
Okay, time will definitely tell. Let us move on to some of the men that have made transfers in this window. The first one that I'll talk about is a young boy. We spoke about him on the last podcast, but now the transfer has been made official. I'm talking about Vince Osuji. Vince Osuji has joined Club Brugge in the Belgian Pro League. We're not going to take too much time because we already spoke about him last week. But now that everything's official, we're looking forward to seeing him play. Smith, like, quick thoughts on Vince Osuji.
Good move, good move, good move. We getted so many clubs, to actually go to Belgium, which is developmental league. Already, and people have been talking about him, how good Vince Osuji will be, and how good it can actually even be for Nigeria in the nearest future. Good move for him. Now that there's no foreign player quota in Belgium, so he can actually play. That is, and it's a very good word. Developmental league. It's not as if you make mistake, you get punished directly. So let him go and develop himself there. And as soon as he performs well, we can, he can move to the bigger European leagues. Boyata was also, played in Club Brugge too, before. Hamakashi was in Club Brugge too. We have like a very rich history of Nigerian players playing in Club Brugge. So he can actually look at them as a motivation to move on to bigger things in the future. So good move for him.
No, yeah, I'll just echo those sentiments. Good young player, good move for him, good step for him. Belgium is a developmental league, so we can expect that if he does well there, he's going to move on to greater things.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good step for him. I like players that don't rush their careers.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they are getting some attention, You don't just want to go and sign for one big club that will now just sit your ass on the bench for the whole season. Go
Mm-hmm.
somewhere that you know that you have a very good chance of playing. You have a good chance of competing in Europe as well. You have a good
Mm-hmm.
chance of winning titles. Club Brugge look like they might be one of the top contenders to win their league this season. So all these things put together are good for his development. And we named him number 10 on our top 10 Nigerian footballers to watch of 2025. I'm happy that he's already giving us reason to be right. 2025 just started. He's already proving us right. And if he can continue to do well, who knows? This boy can break into the team for the AFCON in December. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
only a matter of seeing how things go with his club. So I'm really, really happy for him, and I wish him the very best for the rest of this season and, of course, next season leading up to December. Okay, moving on very quickly. Another Nigerian player, young player, has finally made a move to Europe from Nigeria. I'm talking about one of the young stars that really shone for us on the world stage, Daniel Daga, 18-year-old player, has joined Molde FK in Norway from FC1 Rocket. Of course, he played for Eimba on loan in the MPFL, but the transfer was from FC1 Rocket. He's already got to training, he's already started grinding, trying to get acclimatized to his new surroundings. Smith Layi, what kind of potential do you see for Daniel Daga? And before you answer, because I'm asking this question because many players, they already maybe play one season in Europe before we start paying attention to them.
Mm-hmm.
This is a boy now that everybody is already aware of him. Everybody's already watching him as he's
Mm-hmm.
about to start his career in Europe. So what
Mm-hmm.
kind of potential do you see for Daniel Daga?
I think his major thing that you can see from him is his tackling. He wins the ball very well. That is one thing about him. Though he might be sluggish, but he wins the ball very well. Sometimes he might be rash, but he wins the ball, very well. It's a player that can actually carry the ball very well too, and also help, the help in it can stay between the two central defenders too, and try and look of way on how to actually dictate play. He's also pack bullets, of shots, in his boots too. So I see him in a mood of someone like Michael Essien,
Hmm.
and I told him, that the way Essien did and performed well in 2020, in 2001 World Cup, 120, I said that I expect you to follow the same route too and also do well and move on to greater things. So for me, I expect a lot from him if he's not carried away by what really actually what happened. And he's going to be joined by, there's a rich history of Nigerian players too in Molde. If you know Leke James, a fantastic player, playing for Molde. He scored 43 goals, when he was in Molde. And you have, there was a player too, maybe I don't know, in what's called Emmanuel Ekpo. He played for the Nigeria at the Olympics in 2008. So he joined Molde too, a very, very good and fantastic player. So we got these guys too that have played in Molde before. So it's not as if he's going there to see, like Senegal have failed here. No. Even Aaron Simon, Aaron
Aaron
Samuel,
Olanare, yeah.
so that also was also actually in Molde. So we is going there with like where there is a rich history of Nigerian players. So for me, I think you follow suit. Norway is a league that you can actually develop better. So look at Boniface. Boniface too was also
Igor.
playing. Yes, Igor. Yes, they started from that place too, and they have moved on to greater things. So for me, I think he should motivate himself more. Don't say this is your limit because I don't want him to say that now we did there now. You are not there yet. You are still
They're just
going
starting.
there. You're just starting. Yes, it is. So he's a player that we should expect a lot from. But for me, I just think that Vince Osugi is ahead of him.
Hmm.
Yes.
Okay. I won't add anything to that. Best of luck to Daniel Daga. We'll be watching you, of course, for this season. The Norwegian League, their season is just about to start, so we'll be watching and we'll see how he does with Moda over there. But I'm really excited for him. I'm looking forward to it. Of course, a player that we saw at the Under-20 World Cup, we see the potential he has, we see the talents that he has. And now it's just for him to take his chance. It's just for him to prove everybody right, and show us that he indeed is a fantastic young player and as somebody that can develop into a future star for Nigeria and even in Africa. So yes, all the best to Daniel Daga. Okay, let's move forward. A few more transfers to talk about. Bruno Oyemechi, we'll go quickly over this one because we spoke about him on the last podcast as well. But now it has been made official. Bruno Oyemechi has joined Olympiacos in the Greek Super League. Of course, this is a team that is competing to win their league over there in Greece and also competing in the Europa League. He won't be able to play in the Europa League until the knockout rounds. But they also have a chance if they win the league to play in the Champions League next season. Oyemachi is going there to compete for his spot. He doesn't have a guaranteed shirt there. He's going to have to compete with their current left back. But of course, he's a player that we think is. I think he's a good player. I think he has potential. He's moving to a lower league, but he's moving to a much better team. Boavista was a struggling club, finances poor, football poor, just losing almost every match, and then now going to a team whereby you are trying to win every game. I think that difference in mentality is going to help because players can become very comfortable when your team is expected to lose. So you don't really have to step up your level. You don't really have to try so hard because nobody's expecting anything from you. But now you're going to a team that is expected to win every game. It's a different mindset entirely. And I believe that this is something that is going to help him. I got a Greek journalist that works for the top sports newspaper in Greece reached out to me for comments on Bruno Emaichi. Of course, I said positive things about him. Highlighted one or two flaws that I think he has just to balance out the conversation. But still spoke very positively about him. They're excited to watch him play in Greece. The Olympiacos fans are excited to have him, and I really, really do wish him the very best, in his time there. He's the seventh Nigerian player that is going to represent Olympiacos. They've had some players that did well for them, the likes of Brownie Day. They've had some players that didn't do well for them. I won't mention their names, but he's the seventh Nigerian player, and I hope that he can leave a good stamp with the club. Smith Layi, over to you. Bruno to Olympiacos.
Good. Mentality is very important in football, and it's going to be playing for a team that they are used to winning, and they are expected to win. Every game in Greece. That actually was very important to a team from a team that you lose. If you win, if you draw, it's a lottery, or if you win, you try small. So you have I'm just happy about that move, and I hope that we not think that this move is the final bus stop. We think that they can still go to greater heights, from this actually was move. For me now, I think now people that complain about the club he plays for, they are now so okay. Come on, Zaidi is in Porto, he is playing for Olympiacos, so they're not too far apart. Come on, in what's it called in terms of the clubs that they actually play for. Good move. It should look at people that have played well for Olympiacos and use that as motivation. Enyo Yenkuri was signed for Olympiacos, and it was a total flop for Olympiacos. And I think that Bruno should just know exactly what he wants to do in Greece. Greece is a very good holiday destination. I'll be visiting Greece very soon, so it's a good holiday destination. I hope he's not carried away by what is actually happening in Greece. Just focus on football. That's the most important thing.
All right. Wishing him all the very, very best. Okay, let us move on quickly. Let's talk about this one. Is a player that I like personally, a player that I've spoken about in the past, a player that hasn't had the easiest of times in his previous club, but has now made his move to Spain. I'm talking about Akko Jerome Adams. Akko Adams has joined Sevilla in the Spanish La Liga. He's going to be wearing the number 15 jersey. And of course, at the moment, he's going to be teaming up with both Chidera Ejuke and Kelechi Iheanacho. Of course, we know that we're expecting Iheanacho to be on the move, but that's besides the point. Akko Adams, I'm really hoping that he can respark his career at Sevilla. Things went a little bit sour for him at Montpellier after his fantastic start. The goals kind of dried up. The team started struggling, and now he's joining a Sevilla that is on a rebuild. They started the season poorly, but their results have picked up recently. They are now even with a very good chance of qualifying for Europe because as it stands, they are only 3 points away from the Europa League spot or from the Conference League spot. So it's going to be an interesting one for him. I really do hope that he can bang in goals before the end of the season. If he can just give me 10 goals, I think it can be a good start to his Sevilla career. Maybe on his debut, they can just give him one nice tap in to just score so that the confidence can flow and he can keep on playing with energy. But I'm really excited to see what he can do. I think this is a good step for him. I'm happy that he remains in one of the top leagues in the world, so he's not necessarily going down. And I really do hope that things work out well for him. Seems like your thoughts on this transfer?
Good transfer for me. It's the best transfer of the window for me. For Montpellier again to Sevilla. I think that one beats Urban transfer. In my opinion. So I'm happy, and he's going to be teaming up with one of his guy, as Chidera Ejuke. I hope that Chidera Ejuke be able to give him some assists too. We can call David. You are give him some assists too. So I know I might even be listening here. So tell the GPL say, that assist. Akko is a player I really like. I followed Akko since when Akko was in Sogno, also in
Sub
Norway.
down. Yes, in
Sogna,
Norway. Imani
Sogna.
go.
Yeah, he was there. He was playing for the youth team there. I've been following him since to this place. So and since he went to that under 20 World Cup in 2019, I've been following him. So he's a guy that I've really watched. He's a guy that wants him, to succeed. And I'm happy that he's joining Sevilla now. It's just for him to go forward, go forward. So I'll be so impressed if he can sure continue to do that. For me, I wish him the very best of luck.
All right, wishing the very, very best of luck. Okay, we have one more transfer to talk about. This one is a transfer rumor. We've all seen it, we've all heard it. Fabrizio Romano has reported it. Victor Boniface potentially on his way to Al Nassr in the Saudi Pro League. But before we get into that, let me read the comments. And again, this is the final call. If you are watching us on other platforms, the stream is about to end. So if you want to hear what we have to say about Victor Boniface's potential transfer to Saudi Arabia, make sure you tune in on YouTube now. The stream is going to end on Instagram before we start this conversation. So please switch over to YouTube now. Let me just take some comments before we get into that. Somebody is saying, ex-coach says Daga and Benjamin Frederick are the players that I had the high hopes for in that under 20 squad. Somebody else is saying that Bruno was on only 2,000 euros per week in Boavista. That's crazy. Boavista don't get money. Those ones they don't have any money. Temi says 10 is hard though, 5 is enough. New league, new teammates is not easy. I don't think it is easy, but I'm also not a fan of setting the standards low or setting the bar low. I'm somebody that I would rather aim for. They say aim for the stars, and even if you don't get there, you will land. I'll be aim for the moon or something, and even if you don't get there, you land among the stars. God
Mhm.
forbid that I set a target of 5 goals for any Nigerian striker. What kind of low standard is that? Set a target for 10 goals. If he doesn't hit it, fine. We can see the performances and grade him, but you cannot set the bar so low. 5 goals, voila. That's how people
Mhm.
were saying when I said, "Oh, Osimhen should score 30 goals," they say it's too much for the best player in Africa. People, I
Mhm.
know we have to set high standards. So, me, I think 10 goals, I understand it's a new league, it's a new system, new team, fine. But there is no reason why he cannot score 10 goals. Before the season ends, they'll probably play like maybe 20 matches in all competitions. Let's say he plays 18 of that. For him to score 10 goals, it's not the hardest thing in the world. I know it's not easy, but it is possible. I believe in him. I think Akko is a good striker, and those are the kind of levels that I want him to get back to. Logistics Jeff says, I wonder how the Sevilla dressing room will be looking like between Iheanacho and Akko, knowing that your fellow Nigerian has been signed to replace you after just a few months being on the team. I mean, Kelechi is a professional. I don't think it's something that you cannot hold it against Akko. Akko is not the one that asked you not to be in good form. Akko is not the one that decided to sign himself. Do you expect him not to take an opportunity when he gets it? So again, it's healthy competition. Kelechi might be on the move, but even if he stays, I look at it as healthy competition. I remember I interviewed Anthony Uja, and he told me, I mean, he's even the one that encouraged his team back then in Germany to sign Taiwo Awoniyi to come and join him in the team,
Mhm.
and that's how we're supposed to be. If things are not going well for you, doesn't mean that things should not go well for your brother. So
Mhm.
for me, I think Kelechi is a professional. I don't think it's something that he can hold against Akko or that he can look at Akko any differently for. Akko has not achieved half of what Kelechi has achieved. Akko is just starting. If anything, Kelechi should even look at him and mentor him and,
Mhm.
help him acclimatize and everything. So I don't think that's going to be an issue at all. I don't think that's going to be an issue at all. Okay, let us move on to Victor Boniface to Saudi. Stream is done on Instagram. Let us go. Okay, Smilai, this is the one that has rocked the internet, has rocked social media since we heard the rumors. Only a few days ago, Victor Boniface renewed his contract with Bayer Leverkusen, but
Mhm.
that was only so that they can remove release clause and they can command for more transfer fee, similar to what Napoli did with Osimhen. When you actually think about it,
Mhm.
renewed the contract just so that you can demand more money and everything. And then now we've heard that he's not even in their squad for their Champions League game, fully focused right now on completing negotiations with Al Nassr. The club is trying to complete negotiations, and he's potentially going to be teaming up with Cristiano Ronaldo in Saudi Arabia. I'll let you go first. What do you think about this move?
For me, you have to look at it in there's two sides to it. And I will say this. A lot of people have been saying that Boniface going to Saudi Arabia, what impact will it have on the Super Eagles? I beg to differ. Boniface has never contributed anything to Super Eagles before. So if Boniface is leaving to Saudi Arabia, I don't think that one will have impact on Super Eagles. My only fear about this is that a player that is playing Bundesliga and could not even raise his level that much in national team, if he's not playing in Saudi Arabia, how will his game look like? That is number one. This move favors him personally and people around him. But in general, as a Nigerian football fan, it's not our move, it's Boniface's move. So we have to put it that way. And I'm also hearing, I'm just going to come back and say a few things about it when you give your own submission. I want to summarize my thoughts. And it is going to repeat at this guy. The last time I saw Al Nassr lined up, it was a 4-2-3-1 formation.
Mm.
And if he go to Al Nassr and he stay on the bench there, that would be a disaster.
Mm.
That was going to be a disaster because I saw that lineup. I was looking at if this guy goes there and he stays on the bench, it's going to be a big disaster for him. So for me, I think my summary is that I think this is Boniface's move. This is not Nigeria's move. So I wish him the very best of luck. It's a life-changing money. We know what has been reported. It's about 312,000 euros per week. So I think it's massive. It's a life-changing money. He should go there and enjoy. But one thing I want to know is this. Boniface have never built any legacy for himself in Europe. He's just starting. So it's just like a similar move like Oscar. Oscar, Hazard, Joan Mata, De Bruyne started around the same time. But the others built name for themselves in Europe, but you cannot say the same as Oscar. Oscar went to China.
Went to go and build wealth for himself.
And that was the end of the road. Go and see Oscar.
You know what I liked about Oscar? He did not lie to us. When he went, he told us, I need to go and take care of my family. My family comes from poverty and I need to take care of them.
Yes. And and it might be something for him too. Maybe it might be one to your family, it might be he wants to be balling, Any of those two things can be what Boniface actually was wanted. But it could be two things. So it's just like someone, I will see him as a person that is just the guy that is never really fulfilled his potential, if he goes this way.
I will say this. Boniface not my guy. I don't follow and talk a number of times. We've not spoken about Saudi. So just so you guys are aware, we've not spoken anything about Saudi. But the last time I spoke to him, he was telling me, guy, I don't care what anybody say. I don't care what people talk about me. Whether you like me or you don't like me, I don't care. So Boniface is going into this, in my opinion, with that same mindset of, I don't care what AyoT says. I don't care what Smith Layi says. I don't care what any Nigerian fan says. I'm going to do what I think is good for me. The reality of it is that the only reason that somebody of Boniface's age, stature, caliber moves to Saudi right now is money. There is no other potential benefit except money. As a football fan, from somebody that likes him as a football player, it is sad to see. I have to be honest. It is sad to see. I want to see Nigerian players play well and rise to the very, very top of their games in the biggest leagues for the biggest clubs. Now, does he mean that he cannot still come back and have a career in Europe? No, he can still come back. He can still come back. I think so. He can do 2 years and come back. Again, he might not come back to the same level, but he can come back. But for me, I'm also looking at it that I usually see, I've spoken to many Nigerian players. You mentioned Leke James when we're talking about Moda. I have an interview with Leke James that's coming out in a couple of weeks. And one of the things, Leke James, if you remember, moved to Saudi in 2021 and played in China early in his career. And then in the past few years, he has been battling with injuries. He has not been able to play a competitive match of football since June 2023. And in that interview, spoiler, but one of the things he said is that, bro, that's the reason why I do not regret making that move to China and Saudi early in my career. Because if not that he went and made money back then, he doesn't know how things would be for him today, since he has not been able to play in almost 2 years. But the difference is that Leke James was playing in Norway. Boniface is playing in Germany.
Yes.
He's playing for the champions of Germany.
Yes.
He's playing for a team that got to the final of the UEFA Europa League.
Yes.
It is a different stature. It is a different level. He's making money. He was already making 3 million a year. So it's not like he's broke. I again, 3 million versus 15 million, big difference. I understand. If you offer me 50 million now, I'll move to Saudi tomorrow. I don't go lie, give you. But at the same time, from a football fan's perspective, from a football fan's point of view, it's not what we want to see. It doesn't make me happy. It is going to make him and his family happy if the transfer goes through. But then again, Sadio Mane, Angelo, Cristiano Ronaldo, Otavio, where does he fit in? Is he going to go and play backup to Cristiano Ronaldo? You know, say Ronaldo no like come out speech. If you are playing backup to Ronaldo, unless you guys are already winning like 3-0 before Ronaldo go say, okay, let me leave so that somebody else can come and play. Or maybe you are chasing a game and then you can bring him in. So I just don't know how he's going to fit. I don't know how much he's going to be playing. I don't know if there's any chance that his level can stay the same or can even get better. It's very early in his career. He's just starting to build a name for himself. This is a player that was linked to Manchester United, linked to different clubs, linked to different top leagues around the world. It's a very shocking move. You know, it's a very, very shocking move. Like you rightly compared it to the Oscar move that time. That's what it reminds me of, really, because you know, it was out of nowhere. You're starting your career, you're getting to the limelight, and all of a sudden you're making a money move. I mean, I don't know his upbringing that well. I don't know how much his family, maybe in poverty or anything. I don't really know his story that well like that. I'm not that close to him, but I know that he's good right now. I know that I feel like he can advance in his career. I feel like he can still win top trophies in his career. I feel like he can still make good money in his career playing for good clubs. If he continues in this trajectory, there's no reason why he cannot go to a big team and make even more money. So it's something that doesn't make me too happy. And as far as Super Eagles, for me, again, I'm one of the people that is on the camp of I don't judge Boniface as a failure in the Super Eagles so far. That's my own personal opinion. I feel like he has played 8 matches, 4 of them were good, 2 were okay, 2 were bad. He has not scored a goal. That's a fact. Nobody can take that away. But for me, I don't necessarily look at him in the Super Eagles and say, oh, he's been terrible. But he has not scored. The only thing that I would say now is that moving to Saudi, people like me can no longer argue for you. People like me can no longer argue for you. I don't know how I'll come and say, oh, he scored against Al Fateh, so he should be in the Super Eagles squad. I cannot argue that argument. So for somebody that has not yet stamped himself in the Super Eagles team, for somebody that has not yet built a legacy for himself, I think this move might just be dwindling those chances of actually becoming a big player for the national team. We remember Boniface was upset when he didn't get nominated for the Player of the Year. He was upset. And then when he was upset, it gave me the impression that he has big ambitions. He has big dreams. He wants to achieve something. So all of a sudden, what happened to those ambitions? What happened to those dreams? They just brought good money and all those ambitions went away. Again, nobody made they offer the money. So maybe it's easy for me to say. Because if they offer me, I've said it, if they offer me 15 million, in fact, 15 even plenty, give me 10 million, I'm in Saudi. If I give me 5 million, I'm in Saudi tomorrow. You know, so it's easy for me to say because I'm not the one that is there. But from a football fan's point of view, from a Nigerian fan's point of view, this is not the move that I want to see Victor Boniface taking. Again, I don't like talking to players about their transfers because I'm not their agent. It's not be my business. Because we have a relationship, it's not my place to tell you what transfer to make unless you ask me. Some players actually would DM me and say, bro, I remember one player at 20 something had an offer in China, young player, and he told me, bro, what would you say if I moved to China? He literally asked me, like, I want your honest opinion. If I moved to China, what will you say? And I told him my opinion on it, and he eventually stayed in Europe. You know, I don't say it's because of me, or maybe he asked plenty people, but he eventually stayed in Europe. And I would have wished Boniface would choose to stay, but the way things are progressing, it looks like he's going to make that move. My own is that Victor invite me to Saudi. That's my own. Smith Layi, you want to add to it?
Yeah. So, you know, I like I say, I wish him the very best of luck. I think that a lot of Nigeria have been sending me DMs and everything. Don't be disappointed because I don't. It's not a player that I think the Super Eagles will miss. No, that is just one thing because it's not as if it's a crew. It was a very important member of the national team. So for me, he can go wherever he actually wants to go to. It's another player. That's why I normally say something about mentality too. When the Saudi Arabia people normally come to Europe, they look at people they normally attack. They know some people that are very vulnerable to things like this. Why did Lukman reject the Saudi Arabia move? Why? So go to Saudi Arabia. Lukman, go to why did Lukman reject Saudi Arabia move? Why do you think he wants to stay in Europe and compete? Lukman is building something for himself that can last him forever. See, let me tell you something. Sometimes your name can even outlive you, because of the name you've actually was built. What do you think you remember in Boniface for? If the career actually was nose dive directly, to Saudi Arabia, people are saying that, oh, he's going to Saudi for 2 years, he's coming back to Europe. I'm telling you here, mark it down. When Boniface is coming back, he's coming back to Bekistas. I mean, Fenerbahce or this is where he's coming to. He's not coming to Chelsea or anything. Forget about that one. I wish him the very best of luck. He's very hard. It's very difficult to actually argue for him now. He should go and be doing his nutmeg in Saudi and drop shoulder. I wish him the very best of luck. He should go and stay there, make his money. Super Eagle will produce a different striker that will be very effective for us in the long run. That's my take.
No, I mean, it's a very difficult one, man, because again, when somebody is presented with life-changing money, I'm not going to be. If you remember, I was here saying when Osimhen was linked to Al Hilal, I said, if I'm Osimhen, I'll take the money.
Yeah, Osimhen can argue for Osimhen.
But the thing was that, again, Osimhen has already established himself in the national team. Osimhen has gotten nominated for Ballon d'Or. He had already done things that, have put him in that world-class
African Player of the Year.
Yeah. And it's different for Boniface that has not achieved that yet. Somebody that is still coming up, somebody that has high potential. For somebody like me, the reason why this thing is doing me so much is that I've been praising Boniface since he was in Norway. Since Norway, I remember I tweeted.
Yeah, I remember now.
There's a tweet I made back then when they were talking about Bodo Glimt, and I was saying there is a Nigerian player in this team called Victor Boniface. Watch out for him. I've been hyping him since then. I've watched him go to Belgium, hyped him in Belgium. I remember that time people were arguing with me, Boniface Orban. I've been fighting for him since. Go to Germany, I've been hyping him in Germany. Even up until last week, I still argue for him when people are talking about Super Eagles. I'm still defending him. This move just makes me feel stupid.
But I want to ask you a question before we leave Boniface. Ekong of PAOK and Ekong of Al Khartoum, what's the difference?
Al Khaloud, you mean?
Al Khaloud. What's the difference between Ekong of PAOK in Europe, playing in Greece, and Ekong of Al Khaloud? What's the difference? The game has dropped. His game has dropped. Osimhen of Napoli and Osimhen of Turkey. What's the difference?
The game, see, you play up to your competition. That's the reality. So if you are facing lesser competition, it's hard for you to get better. It's hard for you to get better. That's just the reality. Ekong zone, I'll look at it differently because Ekong is even an older player. So naturally, you expect him to be declining a little bit. But Boniface is still on the upward trajectory. In fact, Boniface just the start. He's just starting. Unfortunately, he got injured. I know some people are saying that, okay, maybe because of his injury history, he wants to just cash out because, he always gets injured. So he doesn't know, maybe it can affect him in the future. I don't know. That could be a reason. But just from a pure fan point of view, from somebody that has been fighting for him, somebody that has been hyping him for many years, since he was in Norway to Belgium to Germany, this is not what I wanted to see. I don't know how I'm going to argue for him again. I don't know what I'm going to do for him again. And also from a branding point of view, because you guys know I'm a big branding person, how do we reconcile it? Because if you've built a legacy already and then you go there, you can still hang on to the brand that you've created in Europe and I've created in Nigeria. Boniface has not yet built that brand for himself. I don't know if he's really actively doing anything to build that brand other than his jokes on social media. There's not much of a brand around Victor Boniface. Now going to Saudi is even going to detach him further from the Nigerian audience, detach him further from the global audience, so it makes it even harder to build that brand. I don't know, man. I don't know. See, the reason why fans can never be excited about a player going to make money is because you're not going to share the money, give us. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to share the money, give us. So even if they are paying you 500 million, how does it benefit me in any way? How does it affect me? So me, I'm looking at it from a purely football point of view. I'm not your family member. You're not going to buy a house for me. You're not going to buy a car for me. Even $100, you're not going to give me out of the salary. So it's like, from a purely fan point of view, there's nothing that makes me excited about this move.
Yeah.
Bruh.
So AyoT, I want you to respond to this comment because this is your comment. He said forget branding.
Which brand past euros per year? See, again, I look at this and I say this is one of the things that plagues Nigerian footballers. Nigerian footballers do not value themselves, and Temi unfortunately does not value him either, because the reality of it is that he can stay in Europe and easily make 10 million a year. He can stay in Europe, easily make 10 million a year, establish a legacy, build a brand for himself, and when he retires for the next 40 years, he will keep on making money. You make 50 million a year for maybe 3-4 years in Saudi, and then you retire and you don't make jack for the rest of your life. Long term, you have to think long term. You have to think post football.
One wrong business can keep this money.
See, that's the thing. You have to think is again. I know that upfront money, and see, there's another thing. I'm not referring to Boniface here. I'm just talking in general. Upfront money, when you've not seen that kind of money before, if somebody just come and just offer you $1 million now upfront, you'll be tempted to jump at it. But you don't think of maybe, okay, if I take 5 million now, I take 2 million next year, and then you pay me 1 million for the next thing. It all adds up. People don't really think like that because all upfront money seems so exciting. I strongly believe that if a player develops the right brand for himself, invest in the right businesses, leverages the brand that he's created, he will make more than 15, 20, 30, 100 million euros if he plays his cards right and puts his money in the right things. So again, it's just the fact that maybe you don't value the guy. You don't think that, he has that kind of potential. Whereas I do. I think Nigerian players have that kind of potential. I think Victor Osimhen has that kind of potential. I think Lookman has that kind of potential. Iwobi has that kind of potential. Boniface has that kind of potential. It's all about what you do while you're playing football and how you leverage your brand.
Yeah, sorry. Yesterday, there's a breaking news now that the agreement is done, but they just kept it somewhere. They're still looking for Duran, the guy from Aston Villa, and also Darwin Núñez from Liverpool. So, but we wish him the very best of luck anyway.
Wish him the best of luck. And Temi is doubling down and saying Boniface's brand will hardly give him 50 million a year. The current brand wouldn't, but if he works on his brand and he builds his brand, he will make that kind of money. He might not make it in a single year, but again, it is over a period of time. You are going to retire at 35. You are going to die at 90. Which money are you going to make between 35 and 90? That's what I'm asking you to think about. That's what I always ask Nigerian players to think about. If you don't establish a brand, you retire at 35, you'll just have that money. God help you if you invest in the wrong thing. God help you if you don't know how to keep on making money. God help you if you don't know how to build yourself further. I mean, the reality of it is that it's a lot of money, but when you start living a particular lifestyle, it's hard for you to drop down from that lifestyle. Even when your income has dropped, you still want to live the same lifestyle that you were living before. And it's hard if you're not making money. It's hard if you're not making money. See, I hope he gets the right people around him. I hope he hires financial advisors. I hope he gets the right team around him. I hope he hires a brand manager, because at least he has money, he can still do things. I like Boniface as a guy. I like him as a football player. I wish him all the best. I do honestly wish him all the best. But from a fan's point of view, it's not an exciting one for us. Like, I'm sure even he knows that it's not an exciting thing for us. I will not be happy to hear, but he'll probably not care because it's his life at the end of the day. If he gets injured and his career is over,
we will care too.
We'll move on. We'll move on to another player. Everybody has to do what they think is in their own best interest. That's the reality. But yes, let us take some comments. Before we move on. Let me see. Abdullah says, I hope and pray he signs 3 years contract with Al Nassr. Okay. Let me see. CC Gogo says Saudi players finished us for AFCON finals. Talking about the Ivory Coast players. Okay. Daniel Famogun says perhaps they sign him to replace Ronaldo when he retires. Ronaldo ain't going anywhere anytime soon.
Not going anywhere. Ronaldo is not going anywhere anytime
soon. Taiwo Okunade says, with that magnitude of signing, Boniface won't be benched. So who do we think is going to replace? That's the question. Because in that attack, I don't see him benching Sadio Mane. I don't see him benching Angelo. Because Angelo is young, but he's balling. I don't see him benching Otavio because he doesn't even really play
Fabio
that
is
position.
good.
I don't see him benching Cristiano Ronaldo. That one is a joke.
What about Sadio Mane?
I don't see him benching Mane. Maybe if Mane is off form, he can get some games. But if Mane is playing well, like let's be realistic now. Mane is Mane. Mane has built his legacy. Like Mane is
Mane everywhere.
Mane.
Mane has been even considered for like Roma to come back, because of what he did.
Yeah, Mane has already built
He
his
has not
name.
done anything.
It's different. Limelight says that's my point. IoT, the guy is not broke. He currently has the potential to play in the Premier League. His value will still rise, and maybe in 2 years' time he can make the move to Saudi too early. Yeah. Temi says Ronaldo's contract expires this year, and that's Ronaldo will be renewed at 40. Be doubting, you'll see it happen in front of you. Ronaldo is not stopping.
Who have you come to watch that game? No, be Ronaldo.
Digital currency says I can stay on the bench throughout social amount of 2 years, 30 million money and water. I can retire from there. Self again. I like even me, give me 30 million, I'll go. But that I'm not a footballer. I'm not somebody that has footballer potential of making that kind of money. I'm not. Yes, it's different. Like now with what I'm building with Eagle Striker, if you come and offer me 10 million today to stop Eagle Striker, I wouldn't.
You will not.
I wouldn't. I'm telling you, because I believe that. See, there's I would say like the potential is too much. I will make more than that money in my life, guaranteed. I'm sure. So I wouldn't take it. If you offer me 50, okay, maybe. But honestly, if you offer me 10 million now, but again, it's different from a fan looking at that kind of money versus a player that's already making millions. Boniface is already making millions. They already renewed his contract to 6 million. He can join the top team and make 10 million, 12 million. I know that tax is a different situation, but for me, it's different. If person who never see money before can easily jump for something like that. But if you believe in your potential, in your ability to create wealth, to create value, there's people that start companies and they turn down $50 million offers to buy their company because they believe in their company and the potential value of what they are doing. So this again, that's why I said it's all about how much you value yourself. Inameka says, I believe the coach of any Super Eagles player or team has the option to select players irrespective of league. So if Boniface keeps playing very good, nobody is saying he cannot still get called up. It's up to the coach. But again, I'm just saying it's going to be hard to fight for him. It's going to be hard to fight for him. Let me see. Okay. Allen says, I think Bonnie considered his possible ACL injuries and needs to cash out. Maybe that's the case. Maybe that's the case. Who knows? Who knows? John Jones says the deal could have worked hard and moved to Bayern or Juve. Okay. Daniel says Osimhen could still come back from Al Hilal to Chelsea. He has the name. Adedotun is saying 102 people watching and only 37 likes. Please don't hesitate to click the like button. Thank you, Mr. Adedotun, for that. Please, guys, click the like button. Click the like button. So many people watching, but so few likes. Please click the like button and support the channel. If you're not giving super chats, if you're not giving membership, at least like the video for us. I saw somebody earlier was complaining that, he doesn't like the ads. I said become a member. It did not reply. If people don't want to help us, give us money to grow the channel, then the small ads where then they show you still
do premium. I can survive the premium.
If you don't want to give me the money, you can pay YouTube for premium and you don't see ad at all. But you don't want to give YouTube money, you don't want to give Eagle Striker money, but you want to enjoy the two of them together. You say, think now. So if you don't want to if you become a member, the ads are not showing up for members. So that's why I say you can become a member of the channel. But if you just want to be enjoying content for free, then you'll bear with us and enjoy the adverts too. Thank you very much. Okay. CCO says Omo, he should go and make money. Life after football matters. He's not earning up to 40k in Germany. Let me see. Limelight says it's a sad move, but let's move on, Jerry. My space, I appreciate your heart, IoT. So much potential loss. Honestly, consider investing in these guys, but only if the return is good, which depends a lot on the player's mindset. Temi says Okocha is the greatest branded Nigerian footballer. Ask Polo how much Okocha makes. You think Okocha built a brand? Don't let me get started. You think Okocha maximizes his potential? Do you really think so? Okocha is popular.
For all
He's
this
not
Sky
popular.
thing, Sky Sport and
Yes,
everything.
that's because of the brand that he started to build after he was done playing football. You think Okocha maximized it while he was playing football?
No, I don't think
You
so.
guys, you don't know what you're talking about. That's what you really think Okocha had. Oh, look at Okocha's mates. Okocha's mates are Ronaldinho. Those kind of players. You think Okocha capitalized on his brand the way he could have? Let me move on. Someone says he's replacing Talisca. Yeah, we know he's replacing Talisca, who just joined Fenerbahce. Let me see. It's a 4-4-2, Ronaldo and Boniface up front. Okay.
The one picking for we'll be picking this formation.
Temi says AyoT 10 million USD. You wouldn't. Do you know what 10 million is? Again, I know what 10 million is. I also know my potential. You don't know me. You don't know what I value myself. You don't know the. Let me not start bragging here. I see. Again, I've said it. Before I die, I'll make way more than 10 million. So, is you think everybody? I mean, well, let me not talk. Let me not talk. Everybody thinks. You know, there's always something that they say like everybody thinks everybody's like them. Everybody thinks everybody thinks like them. I can't lie to you. 10 million.
So, I'm asking a question. Do you think there's any way back for Boniface in this Leverkusen team if this move did not go through?
I mean, I think so. All it takes is an injury to somebody else, one thing or the other. You know, I think so. Sorry, let me just even give you an example. Somebody like Mark Angel Comedy. If they had offered him 10 million when he was first starting, or 1 year or 2 years into it, people would have said, "Are you crazy? Why won't you take that kind of money? Blah, 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 blah. How much has that guy gone on to make only from YouTube alone? Isn't it more than 10 million?
Yeah, more, way more.
So what I'm saying, people don't know potential.
When they were making like how many about 500K per month or things like that.
I said people don't understand when you know your value, when you know that how you can even make more money in the future, when you think big. People don't understand these things. Don't worry, just keep on following me. When you start seeing me driving Lamborghini, and no day surprise. Oh god. Taiwo Kunade says, my only question now is that does playing inside everybody define a player's position in the national team, provided they're informed? It doesn't define a player's position, no, but it makes it harder for people like us to argue for you. That's what I'm saying. Again, it doesn't mean you're not still a good player. It doesn't mean you're not still somebody that can do well for the national team. But if you are playing well in Saudi versus somebody that is playing well in England, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, it's hard to argue for the Saudi player, especially when it's not like that Saudi player has already established himself. If Arokodare comes now and Arokodare starts banging in goals, even in that Belgium, people will not want to be looking at Boniface again. He's a Boniface that some people are already saying he should not even be the national team, even in the Germany that he is, because he has not scored in 8 games. Now imagine if he's in Saudi, you now say, oh, he scored against Al Fateh, so call him up, or he scored against Al Wasal, so call him up. Think about it now. Imagine if he's not now banging in goals like that in Saudi, people will not even want to hear his name at all. So I like him. You see, I love Victor Boniface as a human being, man, but it's tough.
It's tough, yeah. I know.
Shout out to Logistics Jeff. He has donated $5 towards my 10 million. Thank you, Logistics. Thank you for the super chat. That's $5 towards my 10 million. Thank you very much. Okay, let us move on. Enough of Victor Boniface. Okay, another interesting thing that happened. We have to wrap up in the next 20 minutes. Hey God, we have to be quick. This one was a controversial situation that happened involving our biggest star, Victor Osimhen, where a journalist in Turkey, where he is, accused him of some things that should not be done by a professional footballer. I said the guy punched him in the head, offered to pay him money to delete photos, things like that. Very, very unfortunate situation. Osimhen has since come out to clarify the situation. Let me just play that video for you guys very quickly.
So I need to clarify some situations. I went to eat with my friends. So I went to eat with my friends. I was coming back to go into my van. and these guys just pop out from nowhere, the camera on my face, and I was shocked. Obviously, you guys have seen the video on the internet. I was like this, I was shocked. When I was asking them, what's the problem? Why you pop out the camera in front of my face? And they said they are paparazzi. Okay, what do you want? They didn't say anything. They just popped the camera on my face, and there was a guy taking pictures. And then my friends went to meet them. I said, you cannot do like that. If you're a professional, you have to come. If you want to ask for interview. I never punched this guy. I never hit him or something like that. I went to him. I was in the midst of them, and I told him, you have to take the picture down. You have to delete it. It's my picture. I have every right to tell him to take it down. You understand? And then, of course, his agenda. I am not new to this type of thing. You know, I knew they were going to lie and lie and lie. But this is a case of violence, and he came out to lie. But of course, it's not going to be easy one. And I don't need to shout, but I think I will take the necessary step to make sure if I hit him, he's going to get justice. If he lies, then he's going to see the wrath of the law.
So strong words there from Victor Osimhen. He said, I'm going to take the necessary steps. If I hit him, he's going to get justice. If he's lying, he's going to get the full wrath of the law. You know, I'm happy that Victor Osimhen came out to clarify the situation because, of course, this would have been bad publicity for him. I am happy that he's saying it. If he's saying it like this, it means that he definitely did not hit this man, because I cannot imagine if Osimhen actually punched a journalist. Where Osimhen is wrong is that because there is you doesn't mean that they have to delete the picture. That part is wrong. As crazy as it sounds, if I take a picture in public, I own the picture. You cannot tell me I have to delete it. I'm sorry. Like, that's just how the law works. Because it's you in the picture does not mean it's the same way. If a photographer takes a picture, you cannot just go and post the picture and say, oh, it is your picture, it's you that they snapped, so you own the picture. No, the photographer still owns that picture. If you want to use it, you have to license it. So that's the only part that Osimhen is wrong. He did say he asked the guy to delete the picture. The guy said Osimhen offered him money. Osimhen did not talk about that part in the clarification. So maybe he offered him money, maybe he didn't. We don't know for a fact. But the biggest thing there was that punch. That was the part that was very like, why would you just punch a journalist? Are you that crazy? Kenneth Omeruo said he was there and also said, of course, Osimhen did not punch him. So I really, really believe that Osimhen did not do that. The money part is an allegation that cannot really be proven. So I don't know how they are going to really hash that out. But the part that Osimhen is really stuck on is the part of whether or not he punched the guy. It's unfortunate that the journalists will try to lie like this. Unfortunately, people in the media can get crazy and can do things like this for a story, or when they don't get their way. You know, maybe the guy thought it can bring him more publicity, can bring him more fame. I don't know exactly what, or maybe he thought he can just use it as a quick way to get some even more money from Victor Osimhen. I don't know what it is exactly, but if the journalist was lying, it's a very shameful thing for him. I hope he gets fired by the organization. I hope they don't give him the relevance. He can go and do freelance work, fine, but I hope whoever is working for fires him. I hope he gets shamed. I really do hope that Osimhen really takes this case seriously, because sometimes you have to make examples of people. You know, when you make an example of one person, other people will not try you. Other people will not try you. But again, ultimately, I'm just happy that Osimhen has come out to say this thing is not true. You know, initially he posted a video of just that Ghanaian comedian journalist guy laughing, and I thought he wasn't really going to address it. I thought he wasn't going to address it, but I'm happy that he addressed it. And I would have preferred if he addressed it on his social media, honestly. But that's just me, because I like players using their personal social media to get information out there. But still, I'm happy that this thing did not happen. Shame on that journalist if it's a lie. And yeah, that's what I'll say for now. Smith Layi,
yeah, for me, it's good that he came to actually clarified it, because I think you cannot trust these journalists too, because they can lie. If you have been investigating before, because I tried to investigate the guy in question, but I didn't really see any record about him being, the type of person that normally lies, and everything. So all these things that he's saying, you cannot prove it. For you to do this thing, you have to be able to prove it beyond reasonable doubt. That this guy actually want to punch you, but it's not what you can actually prove. and Omero that was there. Maybe if they go to court, Omero will be the testifier that that is not for Joe. So because it was specified in the comment section that I was there, it did not punch. So I don't expect. I don't think Victor can actually punch a journalist outside. I don't think so. There's no matter how you think Victor is hot temper, he cannot think can do that. About the money thing, I don't know because he never actually would address that. But the issue is that. I just think that no matter how it is, why is Victor the target? Why is Victor the target all the time? I just hope that he needs to be very careful, and do his thing and just leave Turkey. That's actually what the most important thing. I wish him the very best of luck too, as usual. But I just think that he has addressed it, and you can see that the storm is settling. There's nobody even talking about the whole thing again. And you can see that it's just like a paperweight thing at the end of the day. So the agenda was to just try and maybe actually what put him down, but I think Victor is very smart, and I'm happy that the guy from Galatasaray wanted to come and stop him from talking, but he actually asked him to stay. He wants to actually talk, and I like that. I like that. At least now he don't give you what you want now. So that guy really give him his own medicine.
Yeah. And the reality of it is that Osimhen is a superstar, and unfortunately, the bigger you are as a star, the more people try to bring you down, the more people try to bring situations that can potentially harm you. So you have to just be careful. You have to move differently. It's just something that I'm sure Osimhen, now that something like this has happened, he will be more careful next time. If he wants to ask somebody to delete picture, no BM supposed go miss the journalist say delete the picture. He's supposed to have maybe security or somebody that is with him, that, or even one of his friends that is not a superstar, that will be the one to go and talk and say, yo, delete. You know what I'm saying? Because once you are the one that puts yourself in that situation, you kind of open up yourself to people just saying all sorts of things. If you come and shouting, because I don't know if it was shouting, but if you come and maybe shout in somebody's face, delete the picture, blah, 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 you are just creating potential for the person to create a story. But if one of your boys comes, even if that your boy punched the person, the most they can say is, "Hey, Osimhen's friend." All you have to do is, which friend? Am I the one? You know what I'm saying? You can easily just remove yourself from that situation. So it's things like that that I just think now that it has happened, he will learn from it. But again, that journalist, if you're just trying to frame him, if you're just trying to create a story, shame on you, man. Shame on you. That's the reason why a lot of people don't trust journalists. And that's why I always say I'm not a journalist, I'm a content creator. I'm not looking for unnecessary story or things like that, because too many people are just chasing clicks, are just chasing a story, and it's very shameful. It's very shameful. But I wish Victor Osimhen all the best. Like you said, Smith, like he should just finish what he came to Galatasaray to do, man. At the end of the season, let him be going somewhere else. I beg. We're tired of Turkey. We're tired of Turkey. And speaking of Turkey and Omero has just left Kashim Pasa as a free agent. So we'll be looking forward to seeing his next move. Okay, let's move on to national team and wrap up the national team talk very quickly. Smith Layi, we're looking ahead to the World Qualifiers. I know that on your show on Friday, you're starting your own official countdown to the match World Qualifiers. But one of our rivals in the World Qualifying group, there's been a development in the national team. I'm talking about Rwanda. 2 months before this World Qualifying match, their head coach has left the role after he couldn't agree a new contract with the Rwandan FA. Take it away. What do you have to say to us?
So I think this contract actually was expired around October.
No, I think October, November was when
November, October, November, but he stayed to play against Nigeria and then wipe us by 2-1. That is Dustin, Splittler. For me, I just think that is, they look for a way to extend his contract, but negotiation, went to New Year, discussed further. But 4 days ago, Rwanda just announced that they are unable to actually agree with this guy. And this guy, before the guy took over Rwanda national team, they've not been able to win a game for 2 years. So, and he won like 6 games or so, the top of the World Cup qualifier group. They narrowly missed AFCON on goals difference. So he did so well for them. And I'm really, I don't know how they couldn't agree a deal for him to actually stay. So the man also said that, he wants to retire. So people are even saying that he was eyeing the Super Eagles job. So, it depends on, where you want to look at. But what we can establish is that they are disarray currently now. And people are even shouting now in Rwanda that don't have a coach, that the coach will be monitoring the players for the Nigeria game, since they have a big chance of qualifying for the World Cup. That why can't he just settle for a coach now? and actually that will lead them against Nigeria. But reports, unconfirmed report coming from Rwanda is that their chanting coach might probably be in charge of the team against Nigeria. In match that they want the qualify them for the CHAN tournament because after beating South Sudan last month, so they think that Kanasho, since he knows the player, majority of the players actually were based in the Rwandan Premier League, so they think that he's the right person to actually take them. But currently now they are in a big disarray. They don't know exactly what to do. So that's the situation currently now from Rwanda.
So from a Nigerian point of view, like, should we be happy about this?
No, they were also saying that they compared the situation to similar to Nigeria because they mentioned Eric Chile too, that Nigeria just appointed Eric Chile that doesn't know, has not even met the team before. So they said that their new coach too will be meeting the team for the first time when they play against us in match. So they think that they are in a similar situation with Nigeria. But for me, I think it's a big disadvantage to them because I'm not like to you, the Rwandan team, with due respect to them, is a very poor team. But this guy was able to do something tactically to take Rwanda to exactly where they are now. And I have watched all their World Cup qualifier game. And I saw the way how this guy is set up. Even during their AFCON games too, I saw the way he's set up. It's different from the Rwanda of 2 years ago. So if they are not going with this man against Nigeria, I'm more confident that they're going to be opened up so easily against Nigeria. So I think it's a good news from a Nigerian perspective.
And why the situations to me are different is because Eric Shelley is coming into the Nigerian team to try to, continue from where the other coaches have stopped. We've been destabilized a long time ago, and he's coming to steady the ship. But with Rwanda, their own destabilization is just starting.
Yes.
Just now that everything is catching. So whoever is coming in now is coming into a very disorganized situation, just has to try to fix it. But Nigeria, our own stabilization don't happen since. Some people have come to try to steady it. It didn't quite go as we wanted. And now this guy is coming to take over from there. Versus who is just coming to fix Rwanda for the very beginning. I think it's good news for us. You don't wish your enemies bad, but when bad happens to your enemy, you smile small. So hopefully when the CHAN coach comes, nobody say that CHAN coach will come beat our Super Eagles. Hopefully we're able to get the necessary results and we're able to climb up that table because Rwanda is our first game of the March window, March 17th. So it's going to be an interesting one for us.
Is it confirmed?
What do you say?
The date is it confirmed already?
Well, I think it is right now is March 17th that it is scheduled for. Maybe things can change closer to that time, but right now it's scheduled for March 17th.
Okay. Yeah, and so to add to this, there's when Nigeria went to the Amaro Stadium to play the AFCON qualifier, we saw the state of the pitch was horrible. But now I can tell you that they are trying to regress it. I think they wanted to host Arsenal, this summer also. So
because visit Rwanda
project. So they are doing everything to make sure that the playing stuff is already is very in a good shape. So for the visit Rwanda this summer. So Nigeria too will play on that playing stuff again, in March.
But they beat us in our own home stadium, so we just have to be wary about it. But I think they're top of our World Cup qualifying group, so if we can beat them, we climb to 6 points. We're already getting closer, and things start to look better for us. So Eric Shelley, see that God is just working in your favor. Things are helping out, and hopefully we are able to get a positive result when the match qualifiers come. Okay, let's move on. Talking about the AFCON 2025, the draws took place yesterday, Monday, and of course, Nigeria, we've been put in Group C with Tunisia, Uganda, and Tanzania. I already did a video on this with Olu talking about the different groups, our very first impressions. But Smith Layi, I want to ask you, when you saw this group, how were you feeling?
In our show, we should mark our score. So in our show, I told you that we're going to be drawing Tunisia. I said I would prefer Tunisia, and I'm happy when I actually saw Tunisia because I just think that in that port, Tunisia seems to be a team that we can actually work really and do very well. It depends on our approach, and Uganda and Tanzania too. For me, it's not a bad draw for Nigeria. But when Nigeria is optimistic about getting 9 points, there is a slip somewhere. It's when you are underdog going to the tournament, that's when Nigeria normally, we just punch above our weight and we're going to get the 9 points. But when you think that you're optimistic about Nigeria getting the 9 points, there's a slip somewhere. And I see that slip maybe probably against Tanzania or Uganda.
Mm.
Yes. So it's a good draw. Actually.
Mm.
Yes.
Me, 9 points out of 9. If anything, 7 points out of 9. I look at this and I don't see why we should not be winning. Now I know football is not played on paper. I know before somebody starts telling me. I know that anything can happen. Anybody can beat anybody. There are no minnows in African football. I know. But again, I set my standards high. I set the bar high for myself, for my team. I feel like the Super Eagles should be licking their lips at this. I feel like of all the pot one teams, we probably got the easiest draw. The rest of the groups are not as easy as our own group. Just very quickly, I'll show. Morocco have to face Mali, Zambia, Comoros. Egypt have to face South Africa, Angola, Zimbabwe. Cote d'Ivoire have to face Cameroon, Gabon, Mozambique. Algeria have to face Burkina Faso, Equatorial Guinea, Sudan. Senegal facing DR Congo, Benin, and Botswana. I honestly believe that we got the best possible draw. So if we can get a draw that is the easiest on paper and we're not able to secure 9 points, then we should be slightly embarrassed. The only reason why I would say 7 points is maybe we've already won our first 2 matches. Then for the third game, we say, okay, let's rest players, let's rotate, let's bring some of the bench boys, and then maybe we're now held to a draw in that third game. I can understand. But Uganda and Tanzania, don't take them for granted. Don't take them for granted, but you should be beating them. Now, we've not been beating all the teams that we should beat. So I understand that anything can happen. But again, Super Eagles can falter sometimes, but when we usually get to competition mode, they tend to know how to sit up. So I want to believe that they will sit up. I want to believe that they will have that hunger, knowing that they got to the final in the last edition, they will want to be able to win it in this edition. Uganda only lost 1 game in qualifying, and that was to South Africa. It was a 2-0. So we have to give Uganda some credit for their good job there. Tanzania, if you look at World Cup qualifiers, they are currently second in their group, behind Morocco. So Tanzania are also doing quite well for themselves. In AFCON qualifying, they finished ahead of Guinea. Guinea is a team that normally we know is usually a good team. So they are a team on the up as well. But I just feel like the Super Eagles need to be able to take advantage of a group like this, need to be able to secure points. The reality of it is that whether you finish first or second, it does not really mean too much, because you can finish first and you still face a tough team because another team somewhere has messed up in their own group and they finish second or finish third. You can finish second and face an easy team, but I still believe that we should be getting maximum points in this group, and maybe 7 points if we rotate players for our third game.
Yeah, in qualification, let's look at that. Tunisia got 10 points. Nigeria scored just 1 point more than Tunisia. But then that was 3 points out of the 11 points we get. So if you look at the inconsistency in Nigerian national team, it's similar to the ones with Tunisia too. So it's just being be very careful about that.
But Tunisia finished second behind Comoros, who are a pot 14. That's why I said, like, we got, because Comoros, they are small name, but they are punching above their weights.
Yes, but don't forget, Comoros is top of the World Cup qualifier group.
Yeah.
So a lot of people should not really, because you can see that the different nationalities now, they are changing to.
But now that one is because their competition there is Ghana, sure. But Mali is in the World Cup qualifying group as well. So.
And out of all the table toppers, I think Nigeria have the least points.
In what qualifiers? In AFCON qualifiers.
AFCON qualifier, yes. Yeah. I think Nigeria had the least points out of all of them, if I'm not sure mistaken. Yes. So it's also another thing. So Uganda, you mentioned about Uganda, we lost against South Africa. But what just impressed me about Uganda mostly was for them to be able to get 2 wins, against Congo, both in Port Noir and also in Kampala. It was really actually a very good performance from Uganda. So I'm really impressed. In fact, they had more points than Nigeria in the AFCON qualifier. Nigeria had 11 points, and 11, but that was 3. And they had 11 points. Nigeria had 11 points. Uganda had 13 points. 13,
yeah.
It was like 1 point behind South Africa. So, and let's look at the last team too, Tanzania. Tanzania qualified ahead of Guinea. They also had 10 points. So if you look at the way the points we accumulate, in that group, Uganda had the best points, with actually 13 points. All of Nigeria 11 points, Tunisia 10 points, Tanzania actually 10 points. And if you go and check the games that Tanzania actually lost, the game that actually was against DR Congo.
Yeah.
So they were able to take care of business against Guinea and Ethiopia. So it's just like it's not easy group as people think. But for me, I think it's fair for us to say that we enjoy it. At least better than others. So which one will you pick as your toughest group of death? We have to pick that.
Yeah, I think my group of death. Let me put the groups back on the screen. When I look at all these groups, I think my group of death, I'm going to choose Group A. Morocco, host nation, they're going to have all the pressure of being the host nation, expectant fans wanting to do a good job. Then they have to go up against Mali. Mali is a team that, even though they are struggling in World qualifying like us, we know what Mali can do. Narrowly missed out on a place in the final, losing to Ivory Coast in the last AFCON. They have good players. They are going to want to, punch above their weight again this year and try to get all the way to the final. Then there's also Zambia. Zambia is a team that we know the quality that Zambia can bring to any given game. They are under a good manager. Zambia is just a team that if you don't play your best, they can always shock you. They only lost one game in qualifying, and that was against Ivory Coast. They won 4 and then drew one of their games. So, and then Comoros, we just spoke about them. Comoros is a team that is on the up, a team that is climbing, a team that is getting better, a team that is Ghanaians hate to see Comoros coming. So I just think that's a group that anybody can win. Morocco can win, Mali can win, Zambia can win, Comoros can shock everybody and win. That's a group that I think I'm almost sure that 3 out of those 4 teams will qualify for the next round. And it can be any 3. It can be Zambia, it can be Comoros, it can be Mali. Mali can easily flop and finish last. Like, anything can happen. Morocco might not have it. Coast Nation, they might not have it their way. Their first game is against Comoros. Comoros can just decide to shock everybody and win 1-0 in that opening game.
Yeah.
Or something. So I just Group B is also a tough group, but with Egypt, South Africa, Angola, Zimbabwe. But for me, that Group A, is tough, man. Oh yeah. How about you? What's your group of death?
For me, I think it's going to be, if you can put it up, I think it's going to be Cameroon and Ivory Coast group. I just think that Cameroon, Ivory Coast, Gabon, and Mozambique. Anytime Ivory Coast play against Cameroon, especially this current Cameroon team, this is going to be a very tough game, and also see Gabon too. Don't forget what happened between Ghana and Mozambique in the last AFCON when the ball was going out and the keeper and it was that he said, I was like, what was he doing? What was he thinking? So Mozambique, they also have players in some good, they have a player from Atletico Madrid.
They have Geni Katamo of Sporting.
Yes, of course. So they have these guys from all these Portuguese-born Mozambicans. So they also a team. Don't forget what they did. They now qualified in the last AFCON. So they are not a team that will just lie down and wait for Ivory Coast to just punch on them and everything. So for me, a lot of people might think that I'm crazy. I don't see Ivory Coast getting out of this group. Yes, the defending champion course is going to continue. The defending champion course is going to continue. I don't see them getting out of this group. I don't see them getting out of this group. That's group second round. This group stage, they're out.
You don't think they can finish third?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
But that's definitely an interesting group as well. I will say that for sure. And Mozambique are also second in their World Cup qualifying. They level on points with Algeria. So they are a team on the up as well. And they have quality players that on any given day can produce a moment of magic and can produce one moment and help them qualify for the tournament. And Ghanaians will be watching from home.
They're in group with Togo. They're in group with Togo and I don't know, maybe Togo, Ghana, Guinea, Ghana, Guinea, and Gambia.
Oh God.
They're in those groups. They'll be I think they will support Nigeria. I hope so.
let's see. But yeah, those are the thoughts on the AFCON 2025 draws. Okay,
Yeah.
and then let's wrap up by talking about Eric Shell, the Nigerian coach, Coach Eric.
Mm-hmm.
He was present at the AFCON 2025 draws, and he did a short interview with Mimi Fawaz where he spoke about his mindset, his expectation, how he's thinking about the AFCON. He said he has a revengeful team, a team that is going there for
Mm-hmm.
revenge. And
Mm-hmm.
even he himself, we've all seen the video of them pouring him water. I'm not going to play it today.
Mm-hmm.
But even he himself is going to the AFCON for revenge. Smilai, does this kind of statement give you some extra confidence or extra belief going
Mm-hmm.
into these matches coming up, and of course the AFCON in December?
This is a one of the times that Nigeria will appoint a coach that I'm really gonna be pleased with.
Hmm.
He's a guy full of energy. He's a guy that the age gap between him and the players are not really that much.
Hmm.
He's a guy that understands the current trend of football. He's a guy that is up to date with his knowledge of football. So he knows how to communicate. He knows how to pass his information around. He's a confident young man. He's a guy. He's very independent mind. He's got that independent mind. So for me, his communication is spot on. He's just trying to make sure that the players are actually fired. They're actually they're well motivated. For the task ahead. And he said something very clearly in that interview that that post-match interview, I think with 54 Football Legs, that he's not talking about AFCON now.
It's focused on the World Cup
for qualifiers. That's 66 games for AFCON. Let's look at the World Cup qualifiers for. So he knows his priorities, not get carried away, about the occasion.
Yeah.
But one thing I can see again is that it's like he's enjoying the cameras because being a Nigerian coach is not easy. I can see that he's even trying to.
And the man is a good-looking man. Look at how
He's a
fresh
good man, yes,
everything.
yes, he's a good looking man. So he's really enjoying the camera because when Mufawaz was like walking and then that's come on, he's going to talk to maybe he's connecting with Nigeria too.
Yeah.
And he's going to talk to Eric Chelle. And he was even waiting for that this thing too because they went to the Ivory Coast manager. I think they also went to him, and I think coach
the Moroccan coach, Moroccan coach
too. So, for me, I think this is a very good guy. He said, "I want to be big brother to my players," which actually what I think he's doing already, and I want him to be fired up. When you see a winner, that for example, it's like you go to your office, only you is now sleeping in that office. No, you will get motivated by people who are actually working. So I'm happy and I'm pleased that he's a guy that will give us what we want. Let him just get this gaming match out of the way. Then he's gonna get settled. If you see him, I saw some pictures about him. He's been on his computer. I know he's gonna be watching games, studying things, and everything. And I've known people that are very close to him. I can tell you one thing for free that he's someone that you cannot push around.
No,
Or he's going to leave your job for you.
and I would definitely say, the coach, he's giving me more and more belief every day. The way he's carrying himself, the way he's speaking. At the end of the day, it's on the pitch that he will do the talking. But based on all the things that are happening off the pitch, he's giving me more and more belief, more and more confidence, more and more faith in him. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him in March, man. Like, in fact, I want to first of all let them announce the team. Let's even see who gets called up. Let's see who doesn't get called up. And then we can take it from there. You guys know we'll for sure talk about it.
Yeah.
But I want to believe that he's a coach that knows what he wants. Like he said, it doesn't come across as somebody that will let them push him around. He's focused on the task at hand. He knows that he needs to qualify us for the World Cup.
Yes.
That's the basis of what people are going to, what his orgas are going to judge him on, whether or not he can qualify us for the World Cup. So I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what he can do. And by the grace of God, by the grace of his tactics, by the grace of the players' performances, because no be only God, by all those things coming together for the in a good way, then I believe that Nigeria will be able to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Yeah. Okay, we are just about to wrap up. It doesn't look like we're going to take any calls today. So
I think you posted something on the
yeah, but I'm not going to wait for people to call in because I'm not coming already. So
Okay.
We're not really going to take any calls today since people are not rushing the lines as usual. But
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody for engaging with us, for watching this live, for subscribing to the channel. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel now. If you haven't liked the video, please like the video now. It looks like we have one caller. Do you have your camera on? And then I can bring you on very, very quickly. If not, then we'll just call it a night. So let me give 10 seconds to see if he turns on his camera. If not, we'll just call it a night. But guys, please, please, please like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. If you are feeling generous, you can leave a super chat. Would appreciate it. Every dollar helps. Every naira helps. We're trying to cover the WAFCON. We're trying to cover the AFCON. We're trying to create more content. We're trying to, improve everything. Better equipment, better coverage, better everything. I want to hire more people. So many plans, and of course, all that will help us little by little to achieve our goal.
So do you have the idea of the city we are playing? City.
For the AFCON?
Yeah.
I don't think they've not announced the schedule yet. I don't think so.
Somebody is saying that it's Fres. Is it Fres? I don't know.
Yeah, I was hearing that, but I don't think, I think when I looked at CAF's website, I don't think they've announced that quite yet.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I want to stay in a place that is
that is popping.
popping. No, it's not. It's not to go and stay in a place that is not really popping, so that the whole thing will not be, what I'm looking is not popping, what I'm saying is not really popping,
I beg, put us in Marrakesh or put us in Casablanca or something.
Even in Rabat.
I'll be a Rabat safe, exactly.
This one looks like a village. Okay, well, let's it's training camp only. Okay, sir. First is training camp only. Somebody said it's going to be training camp only.
Yeah. But once CAF would release all that information, we'll see everything clearly ahead of the time.
No, because the earlier you book these things, the better,
Very true, very true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I don't know what the cost is like. Maybe if you book for maybe Casablanca and then you change it when it's closer to that time, I don't know how much.
Just like, for example, now, if you go and stay in that first and there's Marrakesh is 5 hours drive, they should have mercy. For instance, it's not popping. They should have mercy. Official location isn't confirmed yet. Yeah. Okay, first is our city. I'm not. We're not buying that. So there you
go. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we're going to call it a night.
Okay. There's no caller there. Innit?
No, I mean, camera doesn't seem to be working.
Okay.
So we'll call it a night. Yeah. Thank you very much to everyone for engaging with us. Thank you for tuning in. If you are watching on demand, if you are watching the replay, thank you very much. I appreciate you as well. So our live audience, you guys make it engaging. You guys make it fun. Thank you very much. As always, this is the Naija FC podcast, where we bring you our unfiltered opinions, honest opinions on everything that is going on in Nigerian football. Please remember, guys, you can engage with us. You can leave comments. You can let us know ahead of time if there's any question you have. If there's anything in particular you want us to talk about. When we start the show and people start asking questions, it is hard for us to take all those questions because we already have a running order. So if you want us to talk about certain things, make sure you let us know before time. Leave it in a comment. Leave it on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, and then that way we'll be able to add it to the running order before the show starts. Thank you very much once again. Please like this video before you leave. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. As always, my name is AyoT. My co-host is
Smith Layi.
This is